At guard, he's a 6'9" forward.
Minnesota with the Spurs on top, 3 games to 2. We're ready. It was the elbow to Naz Reid that got him ejected from the game. The head coach of the Spurs.
Yeah, look, what Mitch Johnson has done with this team.
Capers, Josh Tibbett, Justin Van Dyne, our officiating crew. We're underway from the field.
And you see a little bit of a change here. Rudy Gobert opening on step Castle. Randall playing Wembanyama right off the bat here.
Bulls were at 39% on Tuesday night in that loss in San Antonio. Edwards will see if he has a pep in his step here, and he turns it over on the first Timberwolves possession of the night.
Well, he handled and did not see a double team the first time he handled. So some changes on both sides as
De'Aaron Fox averaging 25.3 points per game on the road in the playoffs in his career. Randall has been searching for his offense. McDaniels, the pull-up pop, doesn't go. And Castle
in the playoffs.
17.6 assists in game 5. Champagnie, no. Long rebound. Castle got his hands on it, and there's a foul called out front.
And they really cannot afford.
Lob and jam, Wemby.
Over the 2 years with Castle and Wembanyama has been incredible.
Randall trying to muscle his way around Castle. Randall takes it in, and a strong...
Something that Chris Finch wanted. He wanted them to go at the rim. He doesn't want a lot of the floaters.
Castle nails it from long for the Spurs.
Well, those are going to be wide open if they're going to play him with Gobert.
DeSumo, Dean.
Said 4 or 5 of them were goaltends, and they get the call right there.
Fox on the outside. Gets around DeSumo and lays it in. Wow. Antonio, number 3 in offensive rating in the postseason, number 1 in defensive rating.
You see again, no double team to start on Edwards.
And Edwards is fouled by
He let him get to his left hand, and sort of a soft foul call on Castle, though, that Chris Finch does not want. The runners and the floaters.
Oh!
So to the rim.
The Spurs open up 5 of 7 from the field. This is another slow start for Minnesota. It has plagued them in this series.
When you see Wemby not in a drop, when
Randall on a fade, too strong.
The Spurs guards, particularly Castle and Harper, beat you with physicality on the defensive end.
Easy lay-in for Edwards off the inbounds. Fox protecting, kick. The jumper is good.
The guards for San Antonio just living in the paint.
McDaniels gives it up. DeSumo takes the baseline but misses on the run.
Runners and floaters, Chris Finch thinks have been bad for his team. Either wants to get to the rim or spray it out.
The step in and steal. Edwards will put it. Chris Finch told us that yesterday at the facility. Anthony Edwards, he was himself again. Loud, boisterous, territory.
That's his second one. They've decided to play him with Gobert. Those shots are going to be there. He's now shooting over 40% in the playoffs from 3.
DeSumo tries the zigzag, and there is a foul.
He's had 2 double-doubles in the playoffs, coming off a game 5 with 17 and 10.
Edwards, he banks it in. And with knee issues, it was actually a surprise when he played in game 1, came off the bench in that game, certainly working to his advantage as game 5 was held on Tuesday night.
Well,
foul series. He still played nearly 40 minutes in each of the last 3 games. Julius Randle said they've started calling him Wolverine because every time it looks like Ant might actually be hurt, he somehow gets right back up, guys.
And Gobert knocks it away from Wembanyama. Edwards drives, floats, short. Gobert couldn't. Wemby hits the deck. Edwards is there.
But early in games it hasn't, and they've already shot 3 of those floaters that he doesn't want to see, and now here they are going small.
Terrence Shannon in, so is Naz Reid. Shannon, question mark in this game after suffering a head contusion. Harper, the handles.
The Spurs guards living in the paint. I think the key defensively for Minnesota, everybody focuses on Wemby. No, it's about keeping those guards out of the paint.
Keldon Johnson in the game, the 6th man of the year. Randall can't hit the floater. Follow. San Antonio is 8 of 10 from the field. Timberwolves are 5 of 12.
Well, and it's all then the other guards, Fox and Harper, just living in the paint.
Randall had 21 games in the series opener, but it's been a struggle since. That was a victory. Stole one against San Antonio in game 1. Castle, they're not there, and Castle putting up big numbers in the first 6 minutes of the opening quarter. 11 points.
At playoff time, and they have just been unable to keep the guards out of the paint this entire series, and certainly here again in the first quarter tonight.
Spurs up by 11. Edwards draws a lot of attention. Ball movement. Reed's going to have to do it himself. Fires and hits.
Minnesota, how are these going to keep these guards out of the paint?
Harper swing. Castle sets it up. Wembanyama on a kick. Vassell can't hit the 3. Created that 3. And Naz Reid finished the play. Julian Champagnie is in. Champagnie got a piece of it, takes it away from Edwards. Spurs are running. Johnson on a spin. Johnson in the paint, upstairs.
Nothing you can do about that lob, but Edwards has got to cut the turnovers. Already his 2nd one tonight. I don't feel like either one of them were forced.
Hard cut. Naz Reid.
Smiter guarding Dosunmu, and that opened up the 3.
Nice step in there by Shannon, creating a turnover. Dosunmu, attack mode, deflected by Wembanyama. He's a human wall. Reed, ball fake. Reed 3, put it on the board.
Helpful.
That was not part of the resume. It was just for you to get some really deep thoughts into your life. Cornette is in for San Antonio. So Wembanyama will get a breather here. High-level shot making so far. And there's a by Shannon.
And Shannon has really come on in the playoffs. They had to go to him out of this.
5. Keldon Johnson. Give it up. Castle's at the hot hand and connects for 3.
Oh my gosh.
Edwards against Harper. Fendoff lined it up. Hits the heel. Cornette with the board.
And I like Mitch Johnson's decision in this game to not double team Anthony Edwards right off the bat.
Quick jack from Champagnie. Does Edwards have another gear? We're not going to see it.
The 3rd quarter.
Spurs have led by as many as 11. Currently up by 8. Terrence Shannon Jr., 2nd year in the NBA. Edwards contact. Couldn't finish. Cornette took the head. Johnson trying to force the action on the spin. Missed it on the interior, and it's out. Champagnie, the cutter, Cornette. He's fouled. McDaniels came over.
Flew under the radar more than the Spurs picking up Luke Cornette.
Time right now for tonight's live update. Under 227 and a half. Cornette, 82% shooter, the $1 million deal, and it has been worth it. He's done everything they've needed him to do.
Oh yeah, it's been outstanding. Look, what the front office there with the Spurs have done.
There has just been a consistency in how San Antonio has done this. Didn't change the way that they were approaching how to build their franchise.
No, it didn't. But I'll tell you what, the pressure that goes with being the GM, Brian Wright with that gray beard now, he's very young.
Hook him up with the Monks.
Absolutely, I think that would help him.
30-22, San Antonio. Reed, they shade with a 2nd defender. Shannon, it's intercepted by Champagnie.
I understand he wanted to get it to Gobert on the mismatch, but
the fade goes down.
Stop those guards from penetrating. I think they have to force the ball middle more and come early with the help. Forget being coming off shooters. Don't even worry about that at this point. You have got to keep these guards out of the paint.
Cornette gets a piece of it, and an NBA champion himself. Wembanyama checks back in for the final minute and change.
Now, only 3 guys had previous playoff experience for the Spurs. 2 of them off the bench, Cornette and Ships. The other guy, Fox, who just laid it in. I mean, you look at it, 16 points in the paint for San Antonio, and 5 made threes, and 4 Minnesota.
Wembanyama misses from three-point territory. Dosunmu taps it over. Lead feed for Conley. Waiting for his teammates. There's a 7-second difference. Winding down here in the first. Reed, the back end against the grain with the left.
Wembanyama would not come off of Conley on the perimeter, who's been shooting a three, so he had the opportunity to get to the rim.
10 points off the bench for Naz Reid. Fox with 5 seconds. Whip it to the other side. Champagnie misses on a 3-ball. Knocked. Dosunmu scoop, toss in the air, and it's San Antonio's got a 36-27 lead over Minnesota. The starting guards 23-9 in favor of the Spurs.
And you see Gobert out of the game again as Wemby's in. So tough to finish with Wemby inside.
Off the Edwards miss, Reed couldn't hit.
Stat on Minnesota before the game. 41% of their points in the Denver series on dunks and layups. Only 23% of their points in this series.
Oh, Harper. Extremely high basketball IQ. San Antonio, 9 of 11 in the paint. Fend off there by Randall. He loses the ball.
I mean, great pass. I think that Minnesota is too extended defensively. I think they've got to get more compact. As talked about that, they've got to shrink the floor and get back in the paint against this team.
Reed has a screen from Randall. Now he's got Castle defending him. Reed works in. Kick out. Randall can't hit the three. McDaniels tried to buy Fox. Lead feed. Wemby, too easy. The French flush and the foul.
He was the guy contesting, a late contest, and he just ran out. Edwards has got to be back earlier on that play. He just stood and watched the three and allowed Wemby to get behind him. Timberwolves cannot afford to give up the easy baskets. Already 20 points in the paint for San Antonio.
Victor Wembanyama, 1:27, just over a minute gone by in the second quarter. Edwards, Champagnie extends out defensively. Edwards puts it up, short.
Those shots are the ones Chris Finch talked about. Those in-between shots, mid-range jumpers, runners, floaters have not worked.
Ridiculous!
Now, a 40% three-point shooter here in the playoffs.
Minnesota has made just 2 of its last 12 field goal attempts. Shot clock is winding down. Reed has to hoist, and it's way off. Timberwolves have gone ice cold. San Antonio continues its scorching pace. 65% from the field. And a foul called. McDaniels got wrapped up with Wembanyama.
Daniels on the floor. They cannot afford to have him on the bench with foul trouble.
Castle, drive underneath, kick it for Bryant. Bryant missed it. Offensive rebound. Castle muscles it in. And
We're talking Castle and Wembanyama and Harper are all 22 years old or younger.
It's not that they're scary right now. It's that they could
City both. I mean, it's just unbelievable what's going to happen.
10-0 to start the second. Champagnie kept it in bounds, or did he? James Capers blows the whistle.
Right away, so they kept playing.
Did it hit Capers? It did.
It did.
And he was standing out of bounds.
He had 1 foot out of bounds. In this quarter, Edwards back in quickly, which I think is an absolute necessity.
No Dante DiVincenzo, ruptured Achilles against Denver in the first round. Edwards bounce it. Dosunmu lines it up. It's off.
Well, had a wide open three, just couldn't knock it down.
Castle penetrates, bounces back door. Wembanyama couldn't finish.
I don't like Randall's body position, though. He's forcing Wembanyama to the rim. I don't like let him come off the screen.
Missed by Randall, leads to a break. Bryant had it blocked by just
to move San Antonio to 7 fast break points here to none for Minnesota, and look, they're scoring out.
.com/pick'em or on the NBA app.
I think I'm going to be the one who wins that.
I don't think you qualify.
Why do I not qualify?
Okay, you can apply. Offensive rebound. Harper driving kick. Wembanyama extra. Vassell got a three.
And then another paint touch. Harper in the paint, kick it out, extra pass. If they don't shrink the floor and keep these guards out of the paint, they have absolutely no chance to win this game.
It's now 14-0 in the second. Edwards can't get up ahead. Lob it. Bryant can fly. Playoffs topic, Ask AI mode in Google search. And the rebounding numbers stand 20-7 in favor of the Spurs.
Yeah, incredible. But look, you know why everybody, our viewers, really like the Google deep dives?
We've gotten 0 messages about that. Minnesota is 0 of 10 in the second quarter.
Wow.
They are trying to advance to the Western Conference Finals for the first time since 2017. Oklahoma City is waiting for the winner here.
And I mean, look at the line.
Playoff appearance for the Spurs since 2019, so it had been a long stretch building this thing back up. They went Lynn Johnson and Devin Vassell. They believed in those guys and then just kept adding pieces along the way. Foul is called out front. Not blinked at all in the postseason.
Well, no, and the 56 is a little deceptive because 49 of those 56 games of playoff experience from the starters have Wembanyama gets another block.
Wembanyama running the floor. Vassell can't hit the three. Wemby, no look to Harper. Harper underneath, goes to work.
I mean, this is just incredible.
This is a clinic. Shannon, drive, and he scored.
Victor Wembanyama is the most impactful they have, and I think you would agree with me.
I would.
We've seen shot block credible.
Well, the other part of it, too, is then you'll see him on the other end of the floor after.
We've seen the likes of this guy.
56-30. Keep in mind, Game 5 was tied at 61 with 7.5 to go in the third. TKO. The miss by Shannon. Harper, lob it up. And the knock away by Minnesota. Shannon accelerates, and he finishes. Castle, Vassell, Bryant, and Cornette, the 5 on the floor for the Spurs.
Well, and this is where they like Gobert on the floor against Cornette because he doesn't have to worry about the three and he can just protect the rim, which he's great at.
Castle comes up short. Reed, Gobert, Edwards, Conley, and Shannon for the Timberwolves. Reed takes it at the chest of Cornette.
Or when he has to defend somebody out on the floor. Otherwise, and look, Chris Finch talked about it before the game. The 2 games they won, the other 3 that they lost, they were under 40 paint points in each of those games.
Currently at 18, San Antonio is plus 10 right now in that category. Fox defended by Edwards, screen Cornette, and they're...
Minnesota's overextended their defense out on the floor, now creating focus on keeping the ball out of the paint.
And Minnesota is over the limit. That's why Fox is at the free throw line. And he's got 11 points.